Now let's bring in former Assistant FBI Director Chris Swecker. We have this individual identified, the presumptive shooter, at 4:54 on a Sunday morning, about 10 hours after this attempted assassination took place. What is the FBI doing right now to figure out why this guy acted like this?
Yeah, they're dissecting every aspect of this person's life. I'm a little surprised it took them that long to identify him, but they're looking at whether he has ideology or was driven by ideology, which would make this not just an assassination attempt, but domestic terrorism. Is there anyone else in his network, if you will, his social network, that might have shared that ideology? Are there others? And Carly mentioned earlier about reconciling this discrepancy between, hey, there's no threat, but yet we haven't identified this person. You can't reconcile those two things. And I also want to comment about what Jonathan Gilliam said earlier. He was spot on. This was a security breakdown from start to finish, and this was the primary goal, the primary mission of the Secret Service is to prevent this type of action and then react as swiftly as they can to get them out of the danger zone. Neither happened here. So I don't want to issue harsh judgments, but it was definitely a security breakdown.
Yeah, well, one of the things that Jonathan was talking about is the image that we'll all remember of the president. You could see his face, you could see his fist. He was saying, "Fight, fight,
right.
fight." But there are questions on if that should have happened, if he should have been allowed to be that visible following this assassination attempt on him.
Absolutely not. If you look at what happened with Reagan when he was shot, they had him in the car within seconds. In this case, as Jonathan said, it was a lifetime before they got him off that stage. And look, it was a great moment when he pumped his fist. That'll go down in history as one of the most dramatic moments in this country's history, I think. But it should not have been allowed to happen. They should have whisked him out of there in seconds, no matter what he wanted to do, whether he wanted to shoes or pump his fist, no matter what. He should have been off that stage, in that car, and out of there in seconds. And it was a lifetime. If there had been a second shooter, they would have taken him out. I mean, it was almost a kill shot. I hate to put it this way, but it was almost a kill shot as it was. But if there had been a second shooter, there would have been plenty of opportunity to take him out again. So this breaks every rule of the Secret Service's protocol and just general executive protection in general.
What can the FBI do now to prevent a copycat? Or is there nothing they can do because this is a lone wolf acting alone, just decided I'm going to hop on top of a building and fire at the president?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Secret Service has a primary responsibility to protect. The FBI's responsibility is to generate intelligence and help the Secret Service prevent this sort of thing and get out in front of it. But now, and I said this yesterday, very early in the process, the FBI would step in. It's their jurisdiction to investigate this type of incident, and there'll be lessons learned immediately, which I think will be put in play at the DNC, at the RNC. But in this case, the FBI is not just investigating the incident, they're investigating the protection and the security strategy around it. That's why you didn't see a Secret Service at the press conference last night. They have a conflict of interest. They can't be part of the investigation, even though the FBI is playing nice about that part of it. But the FBI has exclusive jurisdiction in this case, in the case of an attempted assassination, and they will tear this thing apart. They will bring every resource they have to bear. They will go through this, as we mentioned earlier. I mean, they're obviously dissecting this person's life, his home, his media, his social media, his electronic devices, his friends, etc. But there'll be lessons learned here, and they'll come out pretty quick.
We were just talking about this with Congressman Jimenez, and it feels like this tweet from Congressman Michael Waltz will be where this goes in terms of questions asked in the days and weeks ahead. He says, I have a very reliable source telling me that there have been repeated requests for stronger Secret Service protection for President Trump denied by Secretary Mayorkas. Can we get your reaction to that in the minute we have remaining?
Yeah. Yes, they need to look at that. If resources were denied, and these Trump rallies are a security nightmare. They need the resources. They need more resources, obviously, than they had yesterday. So Yeah, and you also need to look at the political rhetoric, because, I mean, anyone who has called this former president an existential threat has blood on their hands, and that's President Biden. That would include former President Obama. Anyone else who demonizes someone in the manner that he's been demonized has basically put a bullseye on his back for every little 20-year-old, every little wingnut out there who it's driven and sort of whipped into a frenzy by that sort of rhetoric.
Well, this is a stunning time in American history. There was already a lot going on with the presidential election before this, and the landscape has now completely changed in the aftermath of yesterday's events. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.